Hey everybody, I'm Paul Ramsey and I am joined by the guy with the guitar.
Yes.
That's how, so we were joking about this before, but that is really how some people know Marcel Klasen. He performs every year. He performs music at the big banquet on Saturday night at the NGH convention. And I'm sure you're going to be there again this year performing, right?
Yeah, well, I only did it twice at the banquet because of the NGH
Oh, that's right. Then
song.
you guys do that like jam session after the banquet.
Yes, after the awards and the banquet, then Tom Nicoli and I have been doing this for over a decade now, or more. I don't even know how long. And
That's
so
cool.
we do a nice gig with some popular music, and we play our guitars and we sing live, and it's one of those traditional things that we now do,
Yeah.
and it's fun.
So listen, you guys, no, not just trying to be silly, very serious. That is how some people know Marcel. They see him in the hallways, right? And this is an important aspect of when you come to the convention, if you haven't been before, we're there primarily to learn, right? We want to learn and expand our skill set, but we also have social time and we want to create relationships and make new friendships. And part of what Marcel and Tom have done every year is they've done this jam session afterward, and it brings people together, and it's part of what makes our convention a fun thing and a cool thing. Now, in all seriousness, he is actually presenting as well, and so we should talk about that. He's doing a 2-hour workshop on Sunday the 13th at 8 a.m. It's called The Power of Sound and Hypnosis: How
Mhm.
to Use Your Voice, Music, and Tones as Hypnotic Tools. So that's what we're really here to talk about today, although we certainly hope you go to the jam session after the banquet.
Yeah.
But we're here to talk about the workshop. So, Marcel, I went to this years ago. I remember this. I know I hung out at this with you. This is a cool workshop. I mean, you talk about a lot of different stuff, and I remember you did voice exercises, and there were Tibetan singing bowls, and there's a lot of stuff going on in this. Why is sound? I mean, this is not, quite frankly, it's not important to a lot of hypnotists, and I want to know, why is it important to you?
Well, as a musician, sound is obviously important, but
There
as
you
a
go.
human being with ears and a voice, I think it's an important way to communicate, and it is the vehicle for a hypnotist. I mean, we use our words. We are word people to change another person's mind, really, or help them change their own mind in a way. But what we often overlook is that it's not in the words, but it's in the tonality of the words, and it's how we bring the words to them and how we repeat the words that the real change is happening. The compounding effect, as it's called, of words is extremely important. The post-hypnotic suggestion, the things that people repeat for themselves, the affirmations that create the vision and that create the new feeling, obviously, that they want to have. They want to change. They want to go into a new normal, so to speak, and we use our voice to bring that message to them. But we also need to listen first to what they have to say, and listen with a third eye, really, or a third ear. Not with a third eye, but with a third ear, so that our third eye can create that vision. So yes, and those concepts are related not so much to the words but to the tones. So if you know which tones belong to that particular version of that person, that particular part of them, you can enhance your sessions. You can
Yeah.
give some practical things to your clients that have to do with, in a way, has to do with the chakra system. So the energy that is flowing through, but particularly pertaining to the sound. This can be a whole program. So this is a program that you do with your clients, not just a one-off thing. And so they will keep coming back. And so you offer that as a program, and they'll jump in because it's an experience for them. They can.
Right.
Right now, I'm working with someone who just had a new job that was offered to her, and she needs to present a lot. So she needs to be a presenter for that, in sales. And she has redness of her skin that makes her look like a buoy. each time she goes in, has to do public speaking.
Oh,
So if I teach her the techniques that I teach in the workshop, she now she came back from a week's trip where she had to have 3 presentations. She said, I went on autopilot. I was killing it in a good way.
yeah.
I was doing what I was hired to do. And now I'm on to the level where I'm starting to like what I do. So you help people that don't even have necessarily a health problem, but they just want to enhance their possibilities in life. And this can be an aid to it.
Yeah. So
Uh,
this is, you guys, if you're watching this video, this is such an important thing. You can be excited about hypnotism, and I hope you are, right? But if you really want to get into it, then you have to approach it at some point. If you want to go to that really high level of performance, what we're talking about is craftsmanship, right? That's what we're really talking about. Is there are lots of people who they can bake a cake or they can make a lasagna, right? But they're not chefs, right? They couldn't go and work in a restaurant all day and have a level of craftsmanship in how they approach their work. And that's what we're talking about here. When you get beyond, okay, I'm certified, I did some training, I've read these books, I've watched these videos, you start getting into the real nitty gritty down to this level, like really analyzing how are you using your voice, how are you using sound, how are you using tone. This is the stuff. This is the stuff. And so you can take the next 12 months, 18 months, and you can read a bunch of books and study your ass off on it. Or you can go hang out with Marcel for 2 hours, who has spent years cultivating this stuff, and let him bring you that knowledge so that your learning curve is like this instead of like this, right? That's what we're talking about here. It's really, really important stuff. He's got learning objectives. He knows what he wants to do to you. He's going to talk to you about why sound affects us physically, the importance of tonality in hypnosis sessions, ways to induce trance through toning sounds, how we resonate with vibrations in our surroundings, and effective methods to use sound, voice, and music as hypnotic tools. This is the stuff, you guys. This is the stuff.
Yep.
Marcel, tell me about, you said you were a musician, and so you had you had a sort of a leaning all along, but like, when did you really start to figure out that this really mattered for your coaching and your hypnotism practice? Was there an
well,
aha moment,
there the moment that I knew that I was onto something was when I bought my first Himalayan bowl.
Oh, tell me about that.
Well, I was in a small shop, and a guy who went to Nepal a lot, and brought back all these pots and pans that turned out to be instruments as well. And at one point, I found myself spending most of the day in that store trying to figure out why this had such a magnetic effect on me. There were particular bowls that I didn't care for, but there was one particular one that I kept hitting and I kept getting new sounds out of, and it made me feel on a different plane. I was as if I was in trance.
Yeah.
And then the guy said, "Yo, that's really what happens. These are meditation tools." And he said, "And that one's for you, obviously." So I bought it, and in the meantime, I collected, some other sound instruments, and now I have a whole set of the bowls that I can carry with me, and they're portable. They fit into one another. And when I do sessions with that, the effects of that on my clients are amazing. You can you can use it as an enhancement tool, or you can just do a session simply with that.
Yeah.
The hypnotic effect is now created not by the words anymore, but by the tones that you generate. Hypnosis can be done in many ways. We don't have to necessarily use words. It's very interesting. And see, if you introduce it correctly, people will get the benefit, and they see the session now as an experience,
Right.
rather than something in and out, and they do in between other activities.
Do you know Peter Blum?
I know him very well. In
Yeah,
fact,
I did an interview with I thought to myself, gosh, if you don't know him, you guys got to hang out because
oh
I
no,
had
no.
a wonderful
In
interview with
fact,
him before.
in the beginning, it was Peter who did his Tibetan bowl as
Oh, that
performances and
makes sense.
seances. He has a
Yeah.
lot more than them. He's really the guy I would go to learn more from.
Yeah. Oh, that's
And at
cool.
one point, I joined him with my guitar. And the next year, when he wasn't there, I was solo guitar, and
Yeah.
that's how these gigs started happening. So
Oh,
the Peter was there first. I have to give him credit for that,
that's
and he's still
cool.
there, by the way. And he's also
Yeah.
doing things on sound.
Oh,
So yeah, we're friends in this, and
yeah.
so what you learn from him is definitely not interfering with what you will learn from me.
Yeah.
We're on the
Oh, that's
same.
cool.
We're in an entrainment situation, so to
Yeah.
speak.
Yeah. Oh, so
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
So cool.
Oh,
Hey,
he's
if
the
people,
greatest. He has some great CDs on Tibetan bowls as
yeah.
well, and so
Yeah.
he's
Oh,
a
I love chatting with him. I
great
really
guy.
enjoyed my chat with him. It was so
Yeah,
great. If people want to learn more about you and what you do, what's a good way for them to do that?
they can give me a call. They can email me. They can even go to one of the two websites that is up right now. The other one is under construction. Call would be 203-255-2226. Email would be ask for good health, all letters, at yahoo.com. And a website is hypnocourse.com. That's the hypnosis course I give. I'm also an instructor, etc.
Okay. All right. All right, guys. So just to recap, the power of sound and hypnosis, how to use your voice, music, and tones as hypnotic tools on Sunday, August 13th at 8 a.m. It's a 2-hour workshop at the
Mhm.
2017 NGH convention. Marcel, I always just love talking with you. Thank you so much for making time for me.
I'll see you at the convention, Paul.
All right, my
If I don't
friend.
see you before that,
Okay.
unknown reason. Uh, you never know how things work out,
That's true. It's
but
true.
it'll be great again. It's
Yeah.
just great, great happening, and let,
Cool.
let's make it even better than last year.
All right. Awesome. Thanks so much. We'll see you later.
Take care. Bye bye.